Hi.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of An Interview with My Best Friend. I'm Hayden, your co-host,
And I am Josh, your host.
and that's Josh, your co-host, and I'm Hayden, your host. And today we have a very special guest. Please welcome Kayliana to the podcast.
Hello. I said hello
Hi.
as Kayliana said hello. That was awkward. Look at us go.
We're off to
We
a
do
great
this-
start.
Look at great start.
We're so professional over here.
Can I ask my question first? Because I've been dying to know.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Kayliana.
You put that
Yes.
question in there, and I like, good.
What is your favorite botched name that you've gotten at Starbucks? Like when they write your name on the cup, or when they like brazenly say it out loud in the middle of the cafe. What's been your favorite? So for me, it's definitely Aiden, like without the H. It's just like Aiden, because when I say my name is Hayden, they often don't hear the at the beginning of the word, and then they just write Aiden on it. I'm like, well, fuck. Not that there's anything wrong with the name Aiden. It's just that that's not my name.
It's not me.
That's not my name. So since my name is complicated, I usually don't even give my full name at Starbucks. So, but somehow they'll still mess up nicknames.
Oh,
I was like, that's
Eventually I
big
just
brain.
straight
That's
up-
big brain.
I know.
such a good build-up.
Uh,
Oh no.
Unfortunately, I'll just say Kaylee, and they'll say Haley or some other random
Oh.
thing.
Mm.
So I just get so annoyed. I'll just be like, K, the letter K. Can you please just put the letter K
C?
on my Starbucks drink?
Order for C?
So yeah. Oh my gosh. As soon as I start talking, my eyes are just watering like crazy.
Oh no.
I'm
It's because you're
just
getting so
happy to
angry
see
about
you guys.
Aw.
Oh wow. See, Josh takes it the angry route.
I was gonna say it's because you get to see our beautiful faces.
So
But
I-
non-Starbucks related.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, non-Starbucks related. I've gotten Kaylani or Kaylana. They
Kaylani.
just forget the I entirely.
Yep.
Kaylina. It's always the second part of my name they completely butcher. I will
Yeah.
straight up tell someone, "Hi, my name is Kayliana." 5 seconds later, okay, bye, Kaylani. What?
Kaylani.
Okay.
I get that.
I don't know. I don't
lot.
think I'd look
Wait,
You don't look like it.
as
Hawaiian
Josh.
at
So at work, like I've never gotten it at like a Starbucks or any like sort of coffee establishment or anything like that.
Yeah.
But at work, because I'm answering the phone all the time, and the busier it is, the faster I'm talking on the phone. So I'm like, "Hi, thank you for calling Walgreens Pharmacy. This is Josh. How can I help?" And most people who are calling the pharmacy are not really good of hearing. I've been called John, Joe. I've been called Jess once, and I'm like, "How did you get that one?" Josh, Jess, they're completely different, like mouth sounds. John, I understand very much. Like that one makes sense to like hear incorrectly. But one time, like I was talking to this person on the phone, and like, it was like a 5-minute conversation, and they at the end of it, they're like, "Okay, thank you, ma'am, for all your help," and I'm like,
Okay.
okay, wasn't expecting that.
Well, I'm surprised that
hung
you
up, and I
haven't.
was like, huh.
I'm surprised you haven't
didn't
had
know my
anyone
voice
call
was
you
feminine.
Josh.
What?
I'm surprised no one has called you Josh. I mean, if you pick up the phone and you say, "Hi, thank you for calling Walgreens. My name is Jorp. How can I help you?" I feel like that's pretty hard to mistake.
That's true. That's true. People will often hear George, or replace the name Jorp with George because George is an actual name.
What are you talking about? Jorp is an actual name.
Jorp is a name.
Sorry, yes,
Oh my God.
you're completely correct.
What are you up to? Okay, all right. I've realized in the video they can't actually see that. So
Oh, really?
for those video watchers, Josh just changed his name
my
on
name to
Zoom.
Jorp.
He changed his name to Jorp, so now it says Jorp on the screen. But I've come to realize that when we export the video, it doesn't show any of
It
that.
automatically edits that out.
Disappointing.
So
Yeah,
maybe we should just edit everybody's names in here all the time, constantly.
oh, I mean,
No,
that would be pretty easy to do.
I don't want to do that.
Oh, great.
Cool.
Cool.
Awesome.
Next question.
Great talk.
Seamless transition into the next question.
So, Kayla, we've talked a couple of times about like how like you and Wyatt like started dating and everything like that, and it was based off of a lie that he wasn't in the military.
He hates that I say that.
I mean, all the best relationships start out with a lie. So,
so like, what was your reaction to finding out that he was like a Marine?
What's funny is I don't really think I had like much of a reaction aside from, well, I wish he just told me the truth so I wouldn't have been talking crap about Marines the whole night I met him. Because the fact that I was doing that, it also made him think that he didn't have a chance with me because I was talking so much crap.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Yeah, that's probably the only thing.
That's probably like the most Wyatt thing I've ever heard. He just silently sits through you talking about
Just
Marines
like,
in a bad way. And
because he didn't make it any better, he went along with it. Oh yeah, those Marines.
Those crayon eaters, look at them.
So like the whole night,
Oh
I had no idea because he just went along with it.
He's just shitting on all of his peers constantly. That's hilarious and very on brand for him.
Yeah. I mean, I do the same thing with the Navy, to be honest. Like, I definitely don't see Wyatt fitting the like, typical Marine mold.
Hoorah.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say that I necessarily fit the typical Navy mold either.
Yeah.
Are you saying you don't look like a seaman?
I mean, when I'm in uniform, I'll look like whatever you want me to look like. But listen, I don't make it a secret that I don't like being in the military. So, that's really.
And how many times have you been on here talking shit about the military and U.S. government?
Maybe if it worked a little bit better, then I wouldn't have to do that. But
that's true.
The harsh reality is, I don't know. I got nothing to say. Be better.
Be better. Do better.
Do better, Navy. Do better. The greatest fighting force in the entire world.
You don't believe that.
What the fuck? I mean, statistically, like you look at the numbers.
It's the most expensive one.
Yeah.
Just because it's the most expensive doesn't mean it's the best.
Like you look at the GDP of an entire country, and then you just see it completely dwarfed by the budget of the United States Navy. And then I go to work and it takes me 30 minutes to log into a computer, and I'm like, yes, this is perfectly normal and fine.
Man, I complain about my computers at work. It takes me 25 minutes to log into them. I should stop complaining.
Imagine waiting 5 more minutes than you do every day.
It'd be horrible.
And that's how long I wait. And then if I have to open my email, Lord help us all. Lord help us all.
Lord help us all. You're gonna need to use all the RAM in that building that's possible.
If I go into, like, let's say I get into work at 7:30. If you come and talk to me about an email and it is before 8:30 a.m., you're gonna have a bad time. Because I just won't know. I'm just being real.
That's fair.
Sounds about right.
So the moral of the story is don't join the military.
Just full stop. Don't. I have a question that's not on our question list that is actually in regards to both of you, because you're both San Diegoans. San Diegites.
San Diegans.
San Diegans.
San Diego.
San Diego. The greatest city in the
in
world.
the world. Yes.
Mhm.
Keep going.
No, I just want to know, compared to like where you're at now, how does San Diego compare to where like you're at now?
Oh. Um, I think Honolulu is a lot like San Diego, but the vibe is totally like out of whack because
Needs a
it's
it needs a vibe check in the worst way, is what you're saying.
Honolulu definitely needs a vibe check. And I think Honolulu tourists are honestly worse than San Diego tourists because San Diego tourists, it's like, okay, you're here for SeaWorld and you're here for maybe Coronado, maybe PB. That's it. But Hawaii, it's like, this is Waikiki, this is Waimea Bay, this is, so
These are all the tourist traps.
and
Mhm.
it's just we're on an island, so you can't escape from them like you can in San Diego. Like there
That
are
makes sense.
there are parts of San Diego where it's like this is my city, and like there are actually San Diegans here, and I'm safe from
marked safe from
tourists. But here, my favorite places on island will just be flooded with tourists, especially lately now that COVID's getting a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
We're struggling to find things to do where, it's like, and here's the thing is like, I'm a really social person. I love meeting, getting to know people, but I'm meeting all these tourists and then they leave the island in a week and I'm just like, great.
Where'd my new friend go?
Yeah. So, and then also there's like, um, it's kind of a problem, but like the United States is exporting all of their homeless people to Hawaii because what a lot of people don't know is it's really easy to get here, but they on purpose, they make it really expensive to leave.
Mhm.
Like if you book a round trip ticket, most of the cost is like you leaving the island.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
That's insane.
Getting here,
That
whatever.
does make sense though, because like there's no like oil or anything on that island. So like all like the refueling and stuff for the planes is going to cost more on island than it would like from the continental US.
Well, also it's just like, the companies that control the industry, they control the prices.
That's true. They're yeah.
And, that's why you see like inter island travel cheap as hell. I could fly to Maui for like $97. But if I want to fly home to see you guys, I'm looking at like a grand easy.
Yikes.
Yeah. So it's just frustrating. And I'm not saying, anything about homeless people. I'm not, passing any judgment. I know that they don't choose that life. Some of them do choose that life though. They like being homeless. They do just fine. And especially because of COVID, a lot of people have been displaced, and the homeless population has like, I would say visually, I don't really know the numbers, but like just from what I see around island, I'm pretty sure it's at least doubled. Because you'll just see entire communities of tents. I mean, you saw it when you were here, Josh.
Yeah, I did.
And there's been like the locals are talking about this like homeless crisis where people like housing prices and rent prices are going up, and people are getting evicted and they can't afford to whatever, so that they're forced into homelessness. And then also the states like the continental US, they're exporting homeless people to the island, so we just have like this massive homeless population. And I'm not going to try to offer any solutions because I'm just not qualified to speak on that. But that's something that I've noticed that isn't quite as bad in San Diego from what I've experienced, or even Spokane for that matter. Like even Spokane has a pretty sizable homeless population, but I would say that Hawaii is
pretty much contained to like
Mhm.
downtown though.
Exactly.
Like that's where at least the majority are.
So
anyways, Kayliana, how does Spokane compare to San Diego?
So I like Wyatt, well, he doesn't hate this, but in Spokane. And it's, it's hard. It's like wherever your home is, it's someone else loves it and someone else doesn't, just because of what they've had to experience or the people or whatever. And I
for sure
experienced not so great things down at that area, like whole communities just like don't want to be around that no more. And I've made really great friends up here in Spokane, and it's been really refreshing for me. So I really like it. I thought it was really funny when we were in our Discord quarantine and we were playing games. And we played a game where one of us, Among Us came out, and basically there was imposters. And there was the one question of where is a place that like people like hate to love or something like that. And I put San Diego. And you guys all thought that I was like the alien or something. Oh, why would you put San Diego? And I'm like, no, I swear I got the same question as you guys. I guess I just feel differently about San Diego.
Yeah.
Because
and I was like, oh no.
I think it's because like I would always look at like San Diego as like it's like I've been to San Diego once, and I really liked my time there. It was a lot of fun because I went with Hayden. And there's some other like blob that's like in there that I can't quite remember that I also went down there with, but
I don't recall.
And I think for Hayden, like he moved away from San Diego when like you were still young and everything, so like you still have very fond memories of San Diego, plus you have like family that like you really really love down in San Diego and everything, whereas you, Kayliana, like you had like those bad experiences because you like were older and were like experiencing more of like the groups out there, and you just had bad experiences. So yeah, I kind of knew that that's how that question was going to go. I knew that you were going to come out with this hot take of I prefer Spokane, and perfect, great content, everyone.
Great.
Yes. Good content. Yeah, so I think that for a while, like, because I did move away from San Diego when I was so young, I felt like a part of my childhood had been like taken away from me, so then like it was actually a problem because like I was just like, I love San Diego, it's the greatest place, and all this stuff, but I was just a kid, so I just had like this fever dream of what San Diego actually is,
right,
as opposed to like what it really in real life is.
And then you were watching like Anchorman and everything, and Will Ferrell keeps telling you that San Diego is the greatest city on earth.
Yeah. And everything that you see on TV is true. So of course I believe that. And so it actually was like an issue with my dad because I was just talking about San Diego all the time, and like his feelings were actually like really hurt for like so long, because all I would do is say like, oh yeah, I can't wait to graduate high school and move back to San Diego and just like get the fuck out of Spokane. And to be clear, I still did want to get the fuck out of Spokane, but it was nothing that had to do with my dad. It was just
it was all about getting the fuck out of Spokane.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm I'm even feeling it right now. I just don't feel like I should be in one place for very long. Like I used to tell people all the time, yeah, I'd love to live in San Diego. I don't know if that's true anymore. I don't I used to think that's where I want to settle down, and but now I'm starting to think, am I ever going to settle down?
Just come to the Oregon coast with Kayliana, Wyatt, and me and Becca. It'll be great.
I mean, sure, maybe for like a couple of years, but I just I don't know.
No, yeah, no, I definitely see that with you, that like you could be literally like going place to place every couple of years, like just taking in different like cultures and everything like that, even if it's like living like in different states, like and all that jazz. And I know you want to live in other countries and like absorb like those cultures. That's just who you are as a person.
Like
I love absorbing cultures.
I hate being sedentary. Like I want to just it makes me so fucking mad that there's places on the earth that I'll never get to see. Like does that not bother you guys at all?
Yeah.
A little.
Like I just get I wake up and I'm angry. I'm just like in this tiny human pathetic little life that I'm about to lead. I'll never be able to see every square inch of this planet, and that makes me so fucking mad.
What about other planets that you won't be able to see either?
Don't even bring that up.
You could go up in a Bezos penis rocket.
Oh man, that would be cool. Probably can't afford it.
Yeah, I feel that on the your dad being a little upset with you wanting to go back to San Diego, because my family is actually like all from the East Coast. And it was just that because my dad was a Marine, so that's why we were down there. But my mom, like, she was a musician and she just like had dreams of like California. That's where like dreams happen, especially for like interesting artists and stuff like that. So she, like, as soon as I came up to Spokane last year, and I've been having a great time, feeling really refreshed and away from a lot of things that have been a dampening feeling, especially on my brain. My mom's been, like, upset, like, oh, California, that's where everyone else wants to be, like, why wouldn't you? And that's what's hard. It's like your parents can't be in your shoes and understand, like, if you grew up somewhere, or if you decide you don't like a place, like, it shouldn't be on them. It's like, okay, it's great that you like it, but I have a different feeling.
So real happy for you.
Yeah.
Stop living vicariously through me, please, now.
Right.
So where on the East Coast are they from?
My dad's side of the family was from Jersey, and then my mom's side of the family was from New York.
Jersey. Jersey and New York. Mortal enemies.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So there's that. And I was actually born in Malden, Massachusetts. A lot of people, they're always like, oh, really? Like, how long were you there? I'm like, less than a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, I moved out to California almost as soon as I was born.
It's gonna be like minutes. I was there for minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you'd spent time in the East Coast, or if you...
Yeah, and before my sisters were born, because they were born when I was 7, we'd go back every, like, holiday season and try to visit all of our relatives and stuff on the East Coast. But the last time I was on a plane to go to the East Coast, I was like 12. So when I got together with Wyatt, it was between 12 and 21 that I did not fly on a plane, and I was really nervous to, like, go to Spokane with him from San Diego for the first time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how to function.
So you were afraid of flying?
A little bit. I did. I think he lost a little circulation in his arm as we were taking off.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like, that's because the first time I ever flew was when I think I was like 16. Like, because first few years of my life I lived in Iowa, and there's like, and family had nowhere, like, there's no family outside of Iowa, so it's like, we're not gonna fly anywhere. Where would we fly to? Everyone that we know is here. And like, if we were going on vacations, we would just drive everywhere, because it's cheaper to drive 5 people places than it is to fly 5 people places. But I don't even remember what the reason was that we were flying. It had to have been like for some sort of like family emergency, and we were just flying back quickly. But yeah, I remember being so scared of like getting on the airplane, but I got like sat next to this guy with like this really thick Boston accent. He just kept like he just kept talking throughout like the flight to like his buddy next to him, and I was just like watching him like, whoa. I was like, holy shit, a
Boston.
genuine Bostonite.
That's super funny.
I also had I think I had a window seat, so that helped everything too.
Window seats are the goat.
They are.
I don't know. I've always loved flying, but also I've done so much flying in my life that like kind of doesn't faze me. So
I love flying now.
I definitely see where you guys are coming from with that. But like me, I would fly back between Spokane and San Diego every year since I was like 6.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, obviously that was tough. But yeah, so I was flying everywhere. And then I went to
your arms must have gotten tired.
Well, I wasn't flying. I was I was on airplanes.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't specify.
That must be difficult. How did they strap you onto the airplane?
You know, I'm really kinky. So I always have rope with me everywhere I go.
Everywhere you go.
And I just said, hey, don't worry about it. Just use this. And they were like, oh man, this is
Forget
great.
Forget about it.
Hey, you're
just
so
hanging
bad.
Perfect. Okay, that answers all my questions.
Yeah. And then, you know, I went to Europe right after high school, and then I was still, you know, taking all these vacations. And also my aunt lives in Boston, so I used to go to Boston. I used to go to Boston all the time.
Bahston. Boston.
Yeah. Boston.
There's almost no way to say Boston without saying Boston. Like
it's not Boston, like how it's spelled.
It's not Boston.
Oh man.
Boston.
That's my favorite thing about like being from Spokane is like you tell people about it and they're like, oh, you're from Spokane? Or
no. Spokane.
Spokane.
Yeah.
Spokane.
Spokane.
And then I'm like, no, it's not Spokane, it's not Spokane, and it's not Spokane. It's actually Spokompton.
Oh yeah, Gonzaga is from there, right?
Oh no. Yeah, Gonzaga.
No, get the fuck out of here. You probably also say Nevada, don't you?
Oh God, yeah. Can't do that.
We've really deviated from the questions.
That's fine. It always happens.
Fine. It always does. This has been our trademark tangent of the episode.
Okay, seamless transition. No one's even gonna notice. So, Kayliana, you are a dancer.
Yes, I am.
What made you get into dancing?
My parents.
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding. I mean, that's the first thing that comes to mind because I was a small child, and every parent that thinks that their child likes dancing enrolls them in dance classes. So that's the first thing. Because I've been dancing since I was like 7 years old.
Cool.
I went to a dance studio and competed for about 6 years. Danced in high school, danced in a community college after I graduated high school. And I taught from graduating high school until before I came to Spokane.
Mm-hmm.
But I really needed a break. But aside from that's a whole separate story. So
we got time.
We have time. What kept me continuing dance, because you know, like there's like me being a teacher, I see it in kids all the time. It's like they got the parents that are like super pushy, and the kids like, I just want to play soccer. What are you making me do with dance? You know. So with me, like ever since I was really I love music. I tell people if it weren't for my love of music, I wouldn't be a dancer. It was really hard when I was going to community college and learning like contemporary and modern dance for the first time, because a lot of those styles of dance don't necessarily music. It's more about like the moves, you know, with like dancing without music. And so that was really hard for me because I'm like, well, the music tells me what to do. So that was
that's why I'm here in the first
part
place.
of my training. Right. So I also tried to train outside of taking like choreography type classes and stuff in freestyling. And by freestyling, that definitely helped me a lot as a dancer, because it's being a freestyle dancer, it's kind of more of like what I like to do as a dancer, because you just, that is literally, you dance because what not. And yeah, so that's, and my mom was like an R&B kind of singer, music artist, and so she raised me with a lot of R&B, like hip hop kind of music. So that's like my background.
So she was like, I'm gonna need background dancers in the future. So
right, there you go. But yeah, so that's why I'm mainly a hip hop dancer. To this day, like even like the world of hip hop and like who dances in that genre has grown a lot, but I still surprise a lot of people. I don't know why, like just my initial presence as a hip hop dancer. I'm also going to sidestep and say that I don't know if it's just a Spokane thing, but when someone has either asked me if I'm a dancer or I say that I'm a dancer, their next question or statement is that, so you're a stripper or an exotic dancer.
As soon as you started saying that, I immediately thought of the strip club. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's right there. Everyone knows it's there.
So more of a Spokane thing than anywhere else, because there's not like a huge community of dance, especially for adults. It's like you think if there's like a kid who's dancing, they're probably going to a studio. But once you're an adult and you're a dancer, what does that mean? I even Wyatt's mother, she said that she was trying to talk about me to some of her coworkers, and they even asked if that's what I was. She told me this, and I felt so bad.
No, the new phrase for that is I'm an accountant, not a dancer.
Right, yes, that's
yeah.
And this happened to me recently. I was just trying to shop at a grocery store and say, like, this was before my hair looked rainbow. It was like just bright green. He was trying to ask me about my hair, and just because of my hair being brightly colored, he asked if I was a dancer. And here's the thing, I love if someone says that, because then I'm like, whoa, does that mean that they're a dancer too? I can add to my community of dance friends and we can freestyle and session together. So I was hyped. I was like, oh yes, of course I'm a dancer. You know, I have a group of friends that are dancers and stuff. And he's like, oh, okay, guess you're a stripper.
Oh
my God, Spokane.
No. I was like, what is this? What is happening to me? And especially because like I'm a hip hop dancer. I like mainly like I'm trained in other styles, but like I'm not even like a flexible jazz or ballet type dancer. I'm a hip hop dancer. I like a lot of the time I'm like I'm one of the boys. The majority of my hip hop friends are guys. So like it's so funny. I'm like, that is just so left field of.
Yeah, I was gonna say the things that I see you doing the most is hip hop. Like when I see your posts on social media, or like anything you post on Snapchat or Instagram, it's mostly hip hop, and I'm like, hell yes, give me all of that.
Right.
Give me that hip hop
so
dance.
That's been fun.
That's just so funny that's a Spokane thing. I'd expect nothing less of this.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh,
it's just to me it's because with that guy specifically at the grocery store, like I'm a nice person, I'm communicable, you know, and I'm not about to, you know, because I also hate the kind of girls that like if a guy comes up to them and they're like obviously trying to come on to them, the first thing they say is, I have a boyfriend.
Yeah,
I'm like, hold on, like you can have a conversation with someone and not have it, you can not have it go straight to that, you know. So I wasn't about to be like, hello sir, I am married, bye, like
hello sir, so notice the ring first.
Notice the not ring on my
yeah.
Wyatt and I have not been wearing rings like for the past year and a half. His started giving him a rash and mine was too big and I was gonna like ruin it, so
oh no.
So we just don't wear rings, but we know we're married. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
But
it's just a social construct.
honestly, yeah.
For tax
But yeah,
purposes.
so I even tried to say to this guy, I'm like, oh, like I tried not to seem
Yeah.
offended after. I guess nowadays the line can be kind of blurred because like there's pole dancing classes that people can take, and he cut me off and he's like, so you've taken those,
No.
sir.
I mean, yeah, the gene pool is getting kind of thick over there in Spokane. So,
Here's what's crazy. I do this to myself. I dig myself holes with strangers that don't deserve my attention. I somehow told this guy that I wasn't originally from Spokane, and he also said that he also was from California. I don't know why I kept going down the route. This not know this me because obviously they already basically insulted me. What am I doing? So yeah,
All these Californians
interesting.
coming
I had a whole
up
rant
here.
about it on Snapchat. I know. What's up with that?
What's up
Yeah.
with
How
all these
dare.
Californians? Get them out of here.
Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of my town, taking all the houses.
Well, what are we supposed to do? We got all these people coming from other states because our state is so awesome, and then they make our state shitty, and
Right.
then we have to leave because there's too many other people. So it's like, what do you want us to do?
This is why the Oregon coast is appealing.
I mean, you got to think about it this way. There was a study done by Dr. Dre, and in the entire nation, there is one state that knows how to party, and that's California.
Arkansas. Oh,
There you go.
not Arkansas.
This is a scientific study by Dr. Dre.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows
That New Hampshire is the party state.
I'm kind of upset that you went with New Hampshire when you know that Vermont is right there. And if you don't think that Bernie Sanders throws a rager at his mansion every weekend, you're out of your goddamn mind.
God damn it. No,
just-
Arkansas is definitely the party state.
I just feel like Bernie turns up. So my brother, who is a Marine,
Is he in Arkansas right now?
He was in Arkansas.
Oh my god.
And
what about their Kansas?
That was bad.
Sorry, I interacted with Joseph for like 5 minutes today.
Okay. That's understandable. He said there's like a few things to do in Arkansas.
Just a few in the whole state.
Yeah.
Just a few.
It's like there's like 3 whole things you can do in Arkansas.
Be alive, be a Marine,
Strong start. Okay.
drink.
I figured that is a Midwest tradition.
Being
When in doubt, just drink.
alive. Oh.
No, just drink.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There's nothing else to do. There's no trails to go on because everything is flat. You can eat some corn. There's plenty of corn everywhere. Yeah, drink. It's pretty much, this is the hallmarks of the Midwest.
Just drinking.
Being alive, being a Marine, and drinking. Those are the hallmarks of the Midwest.
That checks out, honestly.
Sounds about right.
Okay. So keeping along the lines of the dancing thing
Mm-hmm.
that we kind of got away from, but we're still a little bit
we still have a toe in that pool.
Yeah. So we got our toe in. Let's just kind of sink a little bit further in there.
Just belly flop right in.
When did you make the transition from just like dancing to teaching? And like, does that appeal to you? Like, which would you rather like just dance, or would you rather teach? Like, walk us through that.
Yeah, that's really funny because over the years of me teaching, I'd have plenty of people asking me questions like, oh, like, what are your plans when it comes to teaching? Do you want to open up your own
Mhm.
dance studio. So I taught a bit while I was still in high school to my peers. I was in like a dance club that usually would happen after school. And then I also auditioned a couple pieces into dance shows that would happen through our dance department in my high school. And I knew that I wound up really liking, I liked choreographing. And I liked being able to teach. I remember my first time when I was a senior, I was like a teacher at a dance level that was right under the one that I was in. And it was my first time I choreographed 2 pieces. The class was like about 60 people. So we had to split it up half and half. And I taught 2 separate pieces. And for their separate dance show, that was my first time seeing my choreography on stage from an audience perspective. Because before then, I'd choreographed stuff that I would also perform in. So it was very different perspective to be able to just watch it and be in the audience. Now, audience going crazy. And of course they're going crazy for their friends who are on stage. But for me, I was feeling like the craziness for my dance that's on the stage. So whether or not that was the truth, those students, those peers of mine were on stage doing my choreography, and people would be cheering, and like I loved that feeling. So that was probably the first moment that I realized that I liked teaching, I liked choreographing, and I wanted to keep doing it. And I was really thankful for that dance teacher that I had in high school, because I had to go on maternity leave at the beginning of the school year after I graduated. So there were a lot of other dancers that were better and higher up than me. And I know that. I've always been like an underdog. I'm always like second, maybe last pick, but I don't mind as long as I'm picked. So she had other options, obviously, for someone to come back and get paid as an alumni to kind of help while she had to go on maternity leave. But a lot of those other people were here. So that was my first paid experience. There was an actual adult who came to be like the substitute for the classes, but I was paid to come in as like a guest instructor and teacher, because the substitute was like mainly used to being like a PE teacher, and she had some dance background, but it's not like she knew anything about the department or how things usually go. So that's where I came in. I taught pieces and everything, and I thought that was really awesome to have that as my first experience. And what's really funny is my progression as a teacher just kind of, I never actually had to interview. I never had to audition for things or anything like that. I was usually just in a room with people, and someone would be like, hey, would anyone like to teach some after school program? And if they're available, and I'm like, oh, me? And then literally like that was one of the first things someone asked for that, and they needed like a teacher for an after school program for an elementary school like the next week. I didn't even meet with the boss until that day that I was already like hired to go in and teach. And so then that just kind of happened. Like I kept doing that. It was just progressing. Like I only did a little bit of college here and there and a little bit of teaching. I wasn't making a lot of money. But yeah, so it was just a slow process until eventually, after I got together with Wyatt, someone that I met at the birthday party that he and I met at was like the head of the dance department at a local YMCA. And he told me that night, we're like out at a club, and he's like, how are you? And I'm like, okay. And then the next day he like DM'd me on Instagram. He's like, yeah, so I wasn't kidding. Like, I think you'd be a great addition to our dance department at the YMCA. So like, I'll make like, and he kept pushing me to like do all the paperwork and stuff. Like I'm a huge procrastinator. So if it weren't for him wanting to hire me, I probably would have never gotten the job.
Wow.
But yeah, because like that was the only one that I did have to interview for. But I already knew I was getting the job. So it was like an interview because I have to go through the steps because it's the YMCA. It's like an actual like
It's an
Yeah.
actual
company or whatever.
organization and everything.
Yeah, they have to do it right, you know.
Yeah.
So but aside from that, I've just kind of like I've done some private lessons, or like just because there was a bunch of dance studios like in the area where I lived, like I would just, oh, this person needs a substitute, or this person needs an extra substitute, or what, like I would just kind of bounce around to different places for but unfortunately, another reason why I was happy with coming up here to Spokane to feel like refreshed and restart was because I just started to feel like, because when I first was teaching and getting used to it, I still didn't have a lot of training, because when I was going to community college, I eventually did train enough and I got an actual like dance instructing certificate, even though I was already doing it.
Yeah.
But I got that, and I was a lot more well-rounded styling, like I just have a lot more experience. But at the same time, the YMCA, or like a couple other studios I was teaching at, like they knew me when I was younger and less experienced and less trained. And I just started to get this feeling that they kept holding on to that initial like view of me. They wouldn't really acknowledge my growth or what I would really want to teach. And so like here I am, like, you know, the year before Wyatt was going to get out of the military, we were at the YMCA and other places. I just see like here I am teaching 2 to 3 year olds how to maybe point their toe. And that's, and this is what's really funny. Over the years, I would only tell this to like parents that I was closer to of the students that I would teach, but it's just, it's funny. It's not like it's rude or anything, but I'd always say, it's unfortunate that I'm good with kids, because I don't want to be.
Yeah.
Like it got to the point at the YMCA host birthday parties. Like you could pay for a dance birthday party with one of the dance instructors. Like there'd still be birthday activities, but there'd also be like freeze dance, or you'd learn a little like combination or whatever. And that last year before coming up to Spokane, my boss, we have like one instructor that would like always host the birthday parties, because she can deal with like the birthday kids, you know. But if she couldn't do it, I apparently was next in line. And when I realized that, I'm like, how did this happen? Because we had at least like, you know, 10 people on our staff, but I was second in line for hosting kids' birthday parties. And I was like, there's something wrong here.
Something went wrong. Something went very wrong.
You know? So I didn't mind if I had to be hired to be a birthday character. Like I dressed up as Elsa multiple times, or just like a random princess, or a super hang, like, because I play, so like that was fine. Like I didn't mind that, but actually hosting a birthday party, I don't know how I became like a go-to person, but yeah, that happened. And it was in those moments,
one of those parents,
you know, towards the end of,
one of those parents let it loose. They're like, oh, well, she's really good with kids, you should. Like, no, back off.
no, that's not what I want. But so like I have a friend up here in Spokane that he's trying to kind of like make his own studio and stuff, and I've been in contact with him, and like I think I've now had enough of a break to try and at least like teach a workshop there. So I've been trying to talk to him about like maybe I can set something up with him about that. But if I've just been feeling a lot, like it's, you know, everyone's been just having to think about their life this past year, you know. And if I do go back into teaching, like I want to do it my way. Like I want to choreograph what I want to choreograph. I want to, you know, because even when I was like directly out of high school, and like I loved it, it was great. I choreographed an Avengers themed hip hop piece. And
hell yeah.
And it was like the best thing ever. But I remember like the next couple years after that, I would only be asked to come back to teach like the beginning level classes, not the intermediate. And the dance teacher would have some of like the older peers teach the intermediate classes one time, and they're dancing to like, you know, like hip hop music, doing like hip hop dancing. And one of the girls that was in my Avengers piece that was still there, she was like, hey, like, why didn't you ever teach anything like this for us? And I'm like, because when it comes to teaching, whether it be my peers or kids, I still have a level of keeping it fairly PG or PG-13. Even when I was in high school, for life, you know, nobody needs to see that. That's not dancing, in my opinion. So it's always been really hard for me. There's like this expectation when you're a teacher that like you have to give what your students will like. Especially being at a dance studio where like your boss or whoever manages the place is counting on you to make the students happy, so they keep coming and paying and enrolling. So I just, if I'm going to get back into that, I don't want that to be why I teach. I don't want that to be why I choreograph. I want to go out there and just do whatever I want. And if I get like 2 people that ever want to take class from me, so what I want to do for once. But yeah, so that's my little bubble, my story.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, like, when you talked about teaching right after high school, I was like, holy shit, like, you were so young. Like,
I was only 17.
Yeah, that's impressive. So, damn,
son.
Like, that's kind of like how when I was 17, I was still in high school. I was doing my senior project, and I was Josh's Spanish teacher.
I don't remember any Spanish.
So I'm a great teacher.
Except for un cerveza, por favor.
So close.
Una cerveza, por favor.
There you go.
I did it.
You did it.
What?
I taught you the important.
Please.
I taught you the important things.
You did. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
But I think it's funny that you bring up how you're good with kids, and you're just like, oh yeah, oops, because I can't remember if I've talked about this on the podcast before, but a lot of people have told me that I'm really good with kids. And like, I was hanging out with some friends like a couple months ago, and one of them was like, do you have kids? I was like, no. I'm like, what the fuck? That would have ruined my entire life right now.
Back off just for a second, please.
I don't want kids. Like, I mean, eventually, sure. You know, what the fuck? Why not? I feel like I got some good stuff going on here that I would like to add to the human race. But, you know,
add to the gene pool.
Yeah, but just not right now.
Yeah.
It's still about me right now, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, so she was just like, oh my God, you're so good with kids. I just can't believe you don't have any yet. And I was like, that's because I do like kids a lot.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I don't want to be around them all the time. Like, if it's an obligation, hell no, I don't want to be around kids. Like, I just want to be around kids, but I want to.
Right.
Like, I'm fine living vicariously. Like, I'm forever perpetually going to be that cool uncle that like the kids love.
Yeah.
And I love them right back. But then when I don't want to see them anymore, see you later.
Yep.
See you in a couple weeks. That way I can recharge my want to see kids.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Some of my best friends, like they say that to me because like Wyatt and I, we have like RV traveling and living here and living there, all kinds of plans. So like that concept is like pushed way back. But us, you know, it's still, we're married. It might gonna happen one. Whoa. So I talk to whether it be family or like really close friends about it anyway. And so like I have a couple of my best friends and they're just like they know and they can't wait to be like the coolest auntie because they're probably never gonna have kids of their own.
Yeah.
That's how Becca's sister is. She's just like, I do not want kids, but I will be the coolest wine aunt to any of yours that you have. It's like, that's fair. That's fair trade. That's fair trade.
Yeah. I've pretty much accepted that I'm just gonna live vicariously through Josh's kids. Probably. Hurry up, Josh.
No. Fuck you.
No, I want to live too.
It's my time. It's Josh time right now.
I just want little Joshes running around.
Yeah.
The goal for our kids is I hope that they really like some sport, and then we're just gonna push them to be really good at that sport. That way they can pay for us to retire.
Solid
plan.
plan. Solid plan.
Hopefully I have a boy who really likes football, who can throw, like if he expresses anything into like liking football or anything like that, I'm gonna teach you how to throw a football right now, and you're not gonna stop throwing the football until you're 40.
Oh my god.
You know,
Becca's over here like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
She's like, whoa.
She's like, I did not consent to this.
I think that's really funny that you say that, because actually when I was in Chinese class, we were studying this phenomenon. It's like part of Chinese culture. It's called Fang Er Yang Lao. And essentially it's the idea that you have kids so that you can be taken care of in old age. Like that's the whole point of like having kids, is like, oh, we need to start thinking about having kids. That way, when they grow up, they can take care of us when we're old. Mm-hmm. And it's like this whole cultural concept. And it's like, you know, totally integrated into their, you know, worldview and culture, society, everything. So that's very eerily similar of that.
I just want them to be a really good professional athlete.
I have like a completely.
I don't see what's so wrong about that.
I have a completely different philosophy about like any kids that I have in the future.
I am also completely kidding too.
Yeah. Oh no, you're not. That's all right.
Or am I?
No, you're not, but that's all right.
I am, but that's all right. Don't tell me what I'm thinking.
I think I'm gonna like, when I have kids, I think I'm gonna like make them experience things on purpose, like hardship. Like some kids that I went to high school with, like their parents bought them a car.
You're gonna like knock their ice cream cone out of their hand when they're chewing and be like, that's life.
Yeah. They're gonna get their ice cream cone, and then I'm just gonna run up and volleyball spike it out of their hand. And say, welcome to the real world, jackass.
There you go.
No, but I mean, like, you know, some of the kids we went to high school with, their parents just bought them a car. Like, oh, you're 16, here's a car, little baby girl, I love you so much. And I'm gonna be like,
that's why I want my kid to be a professional athlete. That way they can buy me a car.
Yeah, I'm gonna give my kid a bus pass, because that's what I had when I was their age. Yeah. And I know that sounds so cliche, like, oh, back, I did it, so you have to do it too. Yeah, well, guess what? I'm a good person because of that shit. So yeah, I just want them. I don't know. I just want my kids to know the value of things. You know,
that makes a lot of sense, though. I mean, because it's like, why didn't I? Like, I mean, obviously he had his Ultima when we first met, and that was new straight off the lot. But me, we just got like a newer car with a car loan for the first time ever. Like, I've never done that my entire life, and I'm 25. So, you know, so like that makes a lot of sense.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
It's a big deal.
I'm a nerd, so I named it X23.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
An X-Men.
Our
the car I ever had was a two-door 1994 Honda Accord, and I named it Rogue. So
nice. Keeping up with the X-Men themes. I like it. I have to. Our Mini Cooper is named Rocket, because what's a character that Bradley Cooper has played that's also small? Rocket Raccoon. Therefore, Mini Cooper.
Becca calls that.
Becca calls it Rocky, and I like that more actually. But Rocket was its original name.
My car doesn't have a name yet. I feel like it hasn't earned it. It's too new.
Not every car can be Death Wish.
That's true. That's true. I do miss Death Wish. I was talking to Wyatt about that the other day, actually.
I
So for
cannot
those who
wait to
don't
talk
know,
about Death Wish on the pod with Wyatt.
should we wait? We'll wait.
I think we should wait to talk
Okay.
about it with Wyatt.
Stay tuned for the Wyatt episode.
Stay
We'll talk
tuned.
all about Death Wish.
Whenever
Do
it
people
might
on the
come out.
pod know my relation to him? Well, I mean, I know I've talked about me being married to him, but the only reason why
So
I
they
know
probably
you guys
do.
is because of him.
That's true.
Yeah.
Funny that you're going to be on the pod. Like
Before
funny
him.
that your episode is going to come out before him.
I know.
It must be. It must be
"Hmm."
because you won the first giveaway.
Yeah. My first car was a PT Cruiser, which was a terrible car.
I think it was a shit
Mhm.
box.
That thing had so many problems,
God.
but it was a convertible.
Oh,
So
silver lining.
yeah,
And it was silver. Wow.
Yeah.
How'd you know?
Wow. Wow.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Oh wow, a
Wow.
car. So I named
Loki.
her
Loki,
Penny.
we gotta stop doing this. Wow.
because I picture it, she's like, it was like the turbo PT Cruiser, you put the top down, you're cruising, and she can't
Turbo
handle.
and PT Cruiser should not be used in the same sentence ever.
I agree. And she couldn't handle the snow for shit. So her name was Penny because I felt like that was like a really good, like, classic blonde white girl name, like little California girl lost in a small Washingtonian city, where she's not supposed to be. I just felt like that was a good name for her.
Nice.
So
No, I agree.
but now I drive a Honda Fit, and no, I haven't named it yet.
How long have you had it?
I've had it for 2 years.
And you haven't named it yet. Oh my God, it's been driving around with no name.
It hasn't earned a name. It hasn't done anything yet to warrant it, I think. And it's too new. I bought it brand new.
The Fit is too legit to quit.
That's right. I have made so many jokes about it though, because like anytime that I move like furniture, I moved like 90% of my furniture with it because it's a hatchback. So I would like make these jokes all the time where I'd be like, hey guys, look, it fits. Or like anytime I get into a compact parking spot, I'll be like, hey guys, I fit right here. So yeah. I had to get Josh back from the terrible puns he was slinging earlier.
It's fair. I can dish him, but hearing him brings me immense pain.
Oh, you poor thing. So
Hayden, is it time for our favorite segment?
Yes, it's time for Uno Reverse Card.
Oh no.
So this is a segment called Uno Reverse Card, where we've been asking Kayliana all the questions, and now it's Kayliana's turn. So Kayliana, you can ask us both a question, and it can be the same question, or you could ask each of us a different question, or I mean, really, it's up to you. We've had guests ask more than one question, kind of like go way out of there. So it's the floor is yours. And I know you're so prepared for this.
So prepared.
You're just so
Immensely.
ready. It's there a question that's just been eating at your brain.
Oh man.
It could be
God,
anything.
I'm not good on the spot.
That's all right. We'll just cut all the.
Okay, what was like when I met you guys in San Diego? What was your first impression of me?
You locked and loaded, Josh?
Not quite.
Time?
How
Okay.
about you go with yours?
I got
first?
it. I got it. Because I just,
got it.
I'm just gonna go with my gut right off the fly. When I met you, we met at Universal Studios. Like,
No, that's a lie.
did we not? Did we meet?
No, we met Kayliana in San Diego.
San Diego, when we went out to the basement club.
Is that the one where I had to buy pants?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, it's all coming back to me now.
Mm-hmm.
I I don't remember very much of that night, if I'm being honest.
I had a feeling. If you want to go off of Universal Studios, that's
yeah. I was sober at Universal Studios. So let's go off of that.
okay.
So I remember being excited to go to Universal Studios because I had met you in San Diego before. I just didn't remember that detail just now, but that's fine. Honestly, it's because it's all blurry because I feel like I've known you for longer than I actually have. Like you just fit in so well with like our whole group dynamic. Like I was really impressed because anybody that knows me and Josh and Wyatt knows that it's really, really difficult to be around us.
That is true.
It's just
that
a
is
fact.
Very true.
And just FYI for all the people listening to the podcast, that episode is going to be a nightmare, but it's going to be a beautiful nightmare.
I don't know if beautiful is the right word to add to that.
But it's
chaotic.
Not
chaotic
yeah.
is definitely
yes,
chaotic. And that's the thing is like when Josh and Wyatt and I get together, we just play off of each other's chaos because essentially what happens is we all revert back to ourselves from high school, and
it's the worst thing you'll ever see.
It's toxic as fuck,
but it's the best thing you'll ever see.
And I mean, at least it's entertaining. But
it
you
is
just handled it so well.
Honestly, that's kind of my first reaction or first impression of you, because like it was me and Hayden and Wyatt all together in one space being stupid, and you were just rolling along with it, like you weren't like in uncomfortableness or anything, like any visible uncomfort from our shenanigans. And like I it was just like, oh, okay, she can stay. She's awesome.
Yeah.
I can stay.
You were just down for whatever. Yeah, you were just down for whatever. And that's kind of what it is with us, is like, there's no plan. We're going to make it up right here, right now. We're going to do something ridiculously stupid. And that's pretty much it. Like that trip that we had when we went to Universal, that was like the most planned out thing I think I've ever done with Wyatt.
The only plan that we had was meet at Universal.
Yeah.
That was the start and end of that plan, was meet at Universal, and that was the most planned out thing that the three of us have ever done.
Yeah.
And
just
then
a side note about Universal, I think my favorite thing about that whole day that we were there was as soon as we walked in to the Hogwarts section, on goes the British accents, and I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, we're in a new world now.
You can't be in Hogwarts and not speak with the ridiculous British accent.
Yeah, it's you simply cannot.
It's written in the rules of Universal.
Viewers don't know is that I graduated high school in the Thespian Honor Society, so it probably has a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
Because I remember when everyone was putting on their British accents, Wyatt did it for like 2 seconds, but I was like encouraging him so much to do it. I'm like, please, you've done a couple shows and you want to pretend like they don't exist.
Has Wyatt ever told you that we used to go on Chat Roulette and Omegle and pretend to be British boys?
He has not said that.
Oh, yeah. So back in high school, and I think in college a little bit too.
Back in the heydays.
Back in the heydays, Josh and Wyatt and I would get on Omegle and we would pretend to be British. And the amount of people, because you just get on there and you're like, oh, I'm just a little boy from this town called Rugsby. And it's, it's smack dab in the center of England. But you see there's so many drugs there. People have started to get around to call the town Drugsby, and I don't think that's very nice. So, we just riff and like do shit like that, and it's all ridiculous. Oh, it's a kitty.
Roku says hello to the podcast and then leaves.
The demon.
So we would get on Omegle and do shit like that all the time.
Don't you attack me.
And that's just classic. The
Classic us.
The trifecta.
I'm like, obviously
just-
you'll have many different conversations with him when he's here, but not gonna lie, this past year of him being old man and not knowing technology and me being in the Discord chat, I think at some point he was getting a little jealous, thinking you guys like me better than him.
Aw.
I mean, it's true.
Not gonna
Oh, no.
deny anything.
And I know I'm safe to say that here because I know he doesn't listen to the podcast.
No, yeah.
Well,
now that
and
you've
he's
aired our
like, "Oh,
dirty
I feel like such a
laundry."
bad friend.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
I do not judge a person based off of if they listen to us have
Yeah,
a
no,
conversation
No,
for an
not at
hour
all.
plus half the time.
Honestly, if I was Wyatt, I would be sick of us too. Like, anytime I get any modicum of
Then what do I have to,
reaction
like,
or
choose
anything,
to listen to them.
yeah. If I get anything from Wyatt, I'm like, oh, I'm blessed today.
Right.
I have been blessed with the message.
So,
Like, literally, so this is I want Kayliana to know this because he texted me a few weeks ago. He was like, hey, I'm responding to a fire over by your apartments. That was the text. That was it. And I was like, oh, okay. Is it controlled? And he's like, oh yeah, it's fine. Like, it's not that big of a fire. And I was like, lead with that next time.
Right.
I was about
By
to
the
have
way-
you break into my apartment and rescue Roku.
Save Roku. By the way, your cat's on fire.
Literal demon cat. Are you underneath? Oh, you're
Literal.
What are you doing back there?
Yeah,
Why are
little
you in
does
the
everyone
corner?
know, even if Roku was on fire, he'd be totally fine because he's a demon cat.
He is a demon cat. Like, fire doesn't affect him.
it's true. He has immunity to fire. And pretty sure he has resistance to lightning as well. I could be wrong about that.
No, you are correct.
But that's just something that he gets from his dad.
Mhm.
Because as we know, Josh is resistant to lightning.
Obviously, it's all the blue that I wear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. Anyway, any save rounds? Where can people find you, Kayliana?
Me, on almost anything, any social media platform. Well, I mean, things like Twitter, I never go on, so
Okay, no Twitter.
don't follow me.
No
there.
Twitter.
I have an Instagram. I have a TikTok. No Twitter. I have an Instagram. I have a TikTok and a YouTube channel, and they are all my full name, which is Kayliana Reeves. KaylianaReeves. Very long. It's a mouthful. If you find one of them, you'll find them all. They're all connected.
Just copy and paste.
There
So,
you go.
Everyone go and follow Kayliana Reeves. It's spelled out
On it.
right here on the screen.
Right.
Some
Boom. Right
wherever,
there.
right there, wherever we put it, it's gonna be on there.
Well, I don't know why we're editing all this. It's right there on like her screen. Like, it's right
Nope.
there. It's
Nope.
right there.
Nope, Josh, they can't see that.
But they should be able to, is what I'm saying. Zoom, fix your shit.
Get on it. But go follow Kayliana on everything, and then after you're done with that, then you're allowed to follow us on everything.
Yes.
And you can find us on Twitter at JoshandHayden, on Instagram at an interview with my best friend, and then go follow Josh on Twitch,
Yeah.
twitch.tv/Joshua58, and then we're both on Twitter and Instagram at Hayden Isbando at Joshua58.
Don't forget, do all the giveaway stuffs. Retweet our tweets. Comment on
Kayliana
everything.
won the first giveaway. She posted a YouTube comment, and that was what got her the W last season. So it is real. We're not lying. We will send you a Starbucks gift card in the mail. And so please do all the things, retweets and Instagram comments.
The comments
YouTube
on everything.
comments.
Comment on literally everything.
Comment on everything. Leave reviews. Hopefully they're good reviews. And thanks for
Even if it's a bad
listening.
review, we'll still take it. You still
Thanks
get
for-
an entry.
Thanks for listening and watching as always. And thank you, Kayliana, for being on the podcast. It was a blast. And
Thank you.
I think that's it.
I think that's it.
I think
we can-
legally we can end this
Okay.
Oh, as long as it's legal. Perfect. Bye, guys.
now. Bye, love you.
Oh
Oh.
God, this again.
Here we go. It's live.
Oh.
We're doing it. Are you ready?
No.
Good.
Good. That's what we like to see. We like to see the fear in our guests' eyes.
Good.
Okay. Hayden, I don't even have my background set up. What are you doing here?
Oh, wait. Oh,
Oh.
damn.
Oh.
I mean,
Are
what?
you gonna set it up?
I'm working on it. I'll tell you what. I sure as shit am.
I'll tell you.
There we go.
I said.
Do you want?
I say.
Do you want this background, Kayliana, or are you okay with the one that you have?
I don't know. This is fine.
Okay.
It is what it is.
She's got the cool kaleidoscope thing going on the TV next to her. It's really cool. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get distracted by that often.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Why do I keep minimizing Discord? Anyway.